Good morning. Today is the 19th of August 2020. Can you believe it? We're halfway through August already. Today is the fourth seminar for this year that we present. Needless to say, we have to do it via videos as we can't gather yet, or a maximum of 50 people can get together. Be that as it may, I've asked Sammy, a qualified electrician, to give us an insight into his world. He's prepared a 6-minute video, which is very informative and very interesting. The second video is from Alan, a qualified professional land surveyor, and he's also given us some insight into his world. His video is about 10 minutes. Please enjoy. I'm sure you will learn a lot from that. Remember, if you watch this video, you're entitled to one non-verifiable CBD point. So let us know, or let me know, or Kim, and we will issue you one of these certificates. Thank you. I hope you enjoy the videos as much as I did. Thank you.
Good day, my name is Sammy and I'm from a company called Consolidated Contractors and Consolidated Maintenance. We do all electrical installations, COCs and maintenance. Many people know me as Sammy, and I'm in association with Jan L Jordaan. Today I just want to give you a few tips on what to do when you call out an electrician to do a COC. What is very important that you check that that you register with the Department of Labor and that it's valid in a valid period, because we're allowed to register for 1 year or for 3 years, so you just check the dates. Also, when doing a COC, there's quite a lot of tests involved, and it's very time consuming. It can take up to 2 hours a test, because we climb into ceilings, we check every light, every switch, the distribution board, plugs, as I'll show you a few of the items that we do today. This is a distribution board which is standard in most houses. What's very important when you walk into a house, that the labeling is in order. As we see, there's labels over here, but very important is that every house has to have an earth leakage, which is a main switch which protects the owner from any earth faults at all. What must have is, you see this white button over here. We've got to test it regularly, probably every 2 months, just to make sure that it is in order. Another very important factor is that the labeling and the printing from the manufacturers is on the circuit breakers, irrespective of the circuit breaker working or not. If there is no information printed on the circuit breaker, it becomes illegal and has to be changed. In the connection with plugs, when you have a look at a plug, many people are not aware that inside the plug they have built-in shutters over here to protect a little child from putting in a sharp object like I'm doing right now. It stops them from going further. How this shutter works is when you put a plug in, the top part, the earth pin, as you push it in, opens up the shutters for the plug to go in. And when you pull it out, it must automatically close. So you can see this plug is legal and in order. While we're on the subject of plugs, I have a meter here that's threefold. It tests the polarity of the switch, it tests the switch is functional, and also it actually sends an earth fault into the electrical circuit to test the earth leakage, that it trips at the correct rating. I will demonstrate this. So when I put this in, you will see I put the plug in. When I switch this on, all 3 lights are on, telling me that this plug has been correctly wired and is in order. This knob over here, as I turn it, when I turn it, it'll strip the earth leakage at the rating that it's rated at, and that'll indicate if the earth leakage is in order or not. Gate motors. Many people are unaware that when a gate motor is installed, the regulation states that you have to have a weatherproof isolator mounted next to the gate motor. It could be mounted over here if necessary, but in this case, this weatherproof isolator was mounted a few meters away, which is over there, which is also legal. But at all times, gate motors must have an isolator to switch off for safety reasons. COC certificates. It's a very, very important document. And if you have a look at it, very detailed. A lot of boxes have to be ticked off here. In connection, if you have a look, it requires what kind of connection it is, if there's an earth terminal, what voltages there are, the KA reading, earth loop, and also if we have a look on this side of the page, it tells you if it's an existing or if it's a new, and also how many plugs, how many lights. Very important. You have to count the number of lights, the number of plugs, and the circuits on the board to verify the circuit. And then also over here, you've got questions that you've got to answer, like if, for example, if the material is SABS approved, and also is it according to regulations, because we verify this and we sign declarations that we've inspected everything. And on the bottom here also is the readings that is required, so that if council needs to see it or any person, they can see that the readings that are recorded are within the safety range. Very important factor to note is that on page 2 and point 3, note 3, is that all geysers, stoves, light fittings, and air conditioners do not fall part of the COC. That falls under the appliance category. Only the electrical certificate feeding and supplying electricity to these appliances fall under the COC. What I've shown you is just part of the COC inspection. There is an earth test which takes quite long. It takes over an hour because we have to test each light that's made out of metal. Any part that's made out of metal has to be earth, and there's certain regulations that tie in with that. But if there's any more information that you need to get, please contact me on 082-414-2079, or you can email me on thermo@netactive.co.za. Thank you very much.
Hi, my name is Alan Purchase and I'm a registered professional land surveyor. I'm active on the East Rand in Gauteng, specifically in the field of cadastral survey, and my dealings are with the Surveyor General's office in Pretoria. In this presentation, I'm going to talk about diagrams and general plans for registration. The diagram or general plan forms the basis for the registration of a real right. The difference between a diagram and general plan is that a diagram will only depict a single property or right, whereas a general plan is used for 2 or more properties. Using the diagram or general plan, it is possible to find the following: the location of the property, its size, portion number or earth number, whether it has been subdivided, any encumbrances affecting the property, such as servitudes, leases, or other real rights will also be shown. In many instances, it is necessary to check both the diagram or general plan as well as the title deeds for encumbrances on the land. In every title deed, you will find a reference to a diagram or general plan on which the property is located. Any encumbrances should be listed in the title deed, generally with a reference to how the encumbrance is created and what it is for. When they're registered on diagrams, there will also be a note on the parent property listing the encumbrances. The original land unit was the farm, and these are created on diagrams. When farms are subdivided, the new portion gets a new consecutive portion number, which is allocated by the Surveyor General's office, and the new portion is shown on a diagram. Townships are the layout of multiple properties with specific rights and conditions, and they are shown on a general plan. There is always a base farm portion for every township, and the diagram for it is known as a small-scale diagram. This may be an existing portion, or it may be created during a survey of the township. Initially, the registration of urban is done against the general plan, and until there is some sort of development on an earth, no diagram will exist for it. Should urban be developed, or if servitudes are required that cross them, a diagram will be prepared, and any further subdivision will generally be represented on diagrams. Let's look at a couple of examples. This is an example of a farm diagram. You'll see it's a subdivisional diagram. It has an SG approval block, SG number, with the signature of the Surveyor General's signature approving the diagram. It has a data block, which gives all the data in the form of distances, directions, and coordinates for the outside boundaries of the property. There's a description of beacons. There's a list of servitudes, and the title of the piece of property is given, where a full description, or written description is given of the property, the area, and what its new name is. It will be signed by a professional land surveyor. These three blocks at the bottom over here are references. The left-hand one is for the deeds office, and the middle two, the center and right-hand ones, are used by the Surveyor General's office. This particular diagram consists of two sheets. You've got this is sheet one of two sheets. The next sheet shows us the figure. So this is sheet two of two sheets, being portion 133 and portion 130. You'll see the figure over here, A, B, C, D, E, F up to Z in this instance. You'll see the servitudes which affect it. There's one over here. There's a servitude which runs through the middle of the property there, and there's another servitude running across there. There's always surrounding data where whatever the surrounding property names are given as well. There'll always be a scale, and there will be a true north. Again, it will be signed by the professional land surveyor. One of the reasons that I've used this diagram is that it is in fact also the small scale diagram of Parkrand Extension 3. There's a note on it to say that. And here we have Parkrand Extension 3 general plan. In the main, it is very similar to a diagram. You have your heading, you have an approval block with the SG number, you have main figure data, again with directions, distances, and coordinates. You have block corner coordinates, there are reference marks, trig beacons, and there's a listing of all the areas of urban that are depicted on this particular general plan, beg your pardon. On the figure itself, you'll see that each individual earth has got its data shown within the figure. So as you can see here, earth 1248, the distance along that is 65.66 by 120, 34.5 by 123.98, and the units you will always find will come in as part of your data. It's meters. There will be a listing of servitude notes. In this instance, there are several servitudes which have been brought forward from previous diagrams, and you'll see all of them refer to a diagram. The last two over here, or the last couple, in fact, 5, 6, 7, and 8, are created on this general plan, and you will see Irvin 1250, 1251 are subject to a servitude 2 meters wide as indicated. And there we have the servitude indicated on a general plan. Wherever an earth is affected by a servitude, it will say so. So the whole of earth 1283 is subject to a right of way. In this instance, there is no road. There's a servitude of right of way, which gives access to all the owners. And the whole of earth 1283 is subject to a servitude for municipal purposes. So the municipality can use it for access to their services and for emergency vehicles, any reason that they might have to enter the township. initially. All registration of these urban will be done from this general plan. When an earth is subdivided and the property is surveyed, the corner beacon is placed and a subdivisional diagram is drawn up for approval by the Surveyor General. As it is a new development, all the data for the newly created property must be shown on the diagram in the normal way. Let's have a look at an example. Here we have a subdivisional diagram. Again, but in this case, its subdivision represents 936 meters being portion 3 of Earth 1679 Rhinefield Township. Again, you're going to have an SG number, an approval. All the data is set out, description of beacons, the figure is shown, all the surrounding data is shown, a heading with an area, signed by a land surveyor, and again the deeds, the reference blocks at the bottom. The fact that there is nothing in this block over here tells us that it has not yet been registered. As it happened with this particular subdivision, the council required a servitude to be created across it, which they only decided on after the subdivision had already been completed. So we then had to do a servitude diagram over this property. And this is what that would look like. It's a servitude diagram. Again, there's a complete set of data, the SG reference number, the approval block, the figure, and the description of the servitude. So the line represents the center line of a 2-meter wide servitude is indicated for municipal purposes over portion 3 of Earth 1679. Signed by a land surveyor, and again there are the reference blocks at the bottom. Diagrams of the council consent and clearance can then be used to register new earth at the deeds office. Please bear in mind that the various plans you may get from the council and your town planners are not diagrams. Unless they've been prepared by a professional land surveyor and have the Surveyor General's reference and approved signature, they're not registrable entities. There are many other examples of diagrams, but generally they will be in this format. Occasionally, you'll find something completely different. This is more the exception rather than the norm. If you come across a diagram or general plan and you're having problems understanding what it is about, contact your local land surveyor who will only be too happy to assist you. Thank you for your time.
Thank you, Sammy. Thank you, Alan. Really appreciate you giving some of your time and your knowledge and wisdom. Really appreciate it. People, if you need any assistance, Sammy and Alan's telephone numbers appeared on the screen. You're welcome to phone them directly, and I'm sure they will be more than willing to assist you. Thank you and enjoy your day. Thanks. Bye-bye.